Hello, my fellow oddities, and welcome back to another episode. Today, we're going to continue with our winter theme. You can follow along with a link in the description down below to the reference image that we'll be using. If this is your first time, please make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, all that other stuff. Also, go ahead and take a visit to my website if you haven't. I got all sorts of stuff to help support me. And with that out of the way, we're going to get right into today's video. For the first step of this painting, I wanted to make sure I got a very good underpainting in. So I made sure I wet down the back and the front of the canvas to make sure that it was nice and wet and soaked down. I put a little bit of burnt sienna on and spread it around with a big filbert brush. And from there, I just used a paper towel to draw on the basic shapes of the image. Basically, I'm doing a negative of the image, and then I'm just going to go in and start blocking in some of the details. So to start the basic block in, I'm just going to use some raw umber here and get some of the basic shapes of the tree and landscapes in. And then from there, I'm going to switch gears and get into some very light white gray with a very, very tiny hue of red in it. So now we're going to get into this very white looking gray, and you can see that there's just a very little tinge of red in it. This is just to reflect some of the sun that you see beaming out of the background. If you look in the picture from the reference image, you'll see that the snow does have a very light pink hue to it, and in the shadowy parts there's going to be blue, and we'll get into that in a little bit. For the first bit of the sky, I wanted to go mostly just gray with it and skip the red hue and then slowly add in more and more as we get closer to the horizon point. Now I'm going to start adding in more and more of my red and yellow hues. This is where some of that color really starts to shine and that horizon point really comes out. There's some of these clouds and stuff on the top that's going to end up getting covered up with some more of the grayish blues. That's all right. It's all going to play in together later on. So I now cleared my palette and wanted to start fresh. So I mixed up some more of my light white grayish hue. And this time we're going to play in with some of the blue tints. So obviously for that, I'm just going to use a little bit of blue and mix it in. I went a little bit darker with some of the shades just to bring out some more depth. And I'll just go back and forth between a lot of that as we build up on this painting. The last thing we're going to do for our basic block in stage is fix some of these brown areas. I wanted to widen out this little bit of water that was here. From the reference image, you'll see that it just came out a little bit further. I didn't quite get it to where I wanted to, but that's all right. And then I just wanted to add in some more brown ground texture and put back in some of these trees. I'll go back through and add in a lot more of that, obviously, but this is just some of the basic shapes just to get a basic idea of our layout of the painting. So that's gonna about be a wrap for this episode. If you've been following along, then you should have something relatively close to this. This is coming out really good so far. I know it's just a basic block in, but I'm really loving how these colors are turning out. Remember, if this is your first time, please hit that subscribe button and please make sure you visit my website as well. And I will see you in the next episode.